and then tried to play me like that's not what he said. I was like, bro, get the fuck out of here. If you want a tip, Cash App and Venmo is the best way to do it, but that's what goes to the goal. Cash App and Venmo go to the live goal. I know you know who I am. I have the next to normal earworms have been crazy since the Pro Shot came out. Just absolutely crazy. Just nothing but earworms, dude. Ding ding do 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 do. Let me change it from live goal to t-shirt giveaway goal. Do 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 do. Could you leave me? Could you let me go under? Could you watch as I drown and wonder why? Are you bleeding? Sorry, I can't get it out of my head, dude. Oh, man, I can't wait for the Cast album, the London Cast album to drop on fucking the 30th. Oh, I'm going to be in there like swimwear. Hi, YouTube. Hi. Hello. Why did I just talk like I'm a fucking YouTuber from a theory channel? Austin here. Oh, shit, dude. Have you listened to The Paradox? No. You know what I need to do? I need to hire a clipper. Like someone who just watches my stream and clips moments from the stream. Just need you to know I'm still reeling from that World of Warcraft insult. Oh, well, listen. I had a friend. Okay. I'm not friends with this person anymore. It's been forever. He was deep south. I think he was from either North or South Carolina. He was woke. Like, he was woke as fuck for a 30-something-year-old from South Dakota. But, oh, shit. He was dating somebody. And this woman left him to marry someone she met on World of Warcraft. And when I tell you, I was like, we just need to not have World of Warcraft be a thing. First of all, I just don't like World of Warcraft. Ayo, Cynical, thank you for the Cash App. Said, check out the Looms, Ancom band from Jersey. Ooh, an Ancom band. We're fans of that. Cause I know you know who I am. It'll also be great when I'm not sick anymore, because then I can really get back to living my life. I don't have World of War autism. I have Five Nights at Freddy's autism. Yo. If the rumors are true, and we're getting a Five Nights at Freddy's house at Halloween Horror Nights this year, I'm going day one. I will do a vlog about it. I'll be there day one, bro. Day one, dog. Come on now. We are live anyway. We're live, baby boys and girls. I was watching a clip from the Whatever podcast, and it was a clip of that one girl who debated Charlie Kirk. She got piercings and her hair is locked. I don't remember her name. That young college girl who's been killing it lately, truly killing it. And Andrew Wilson, in a debate with her, said that the majority of public schools get their funding from federal tax dollars. And I swear to God, this man's stupid. It is the case that if you just say something confidently enough, your audience, I guess, will believe it. Because in actuality, public schools only get 11% of their funding through federal dollars. 40% comes from state, 40% comes from local. Only 11 come from federal. It's fucking insane to me that people fucking listen to Andrew Wilson. It's insane. I also got those numbers wrong on the 40-40. 44% is from state, and I think it's 36% is, no, 26% is from federal, or from, I'm sorry, hold on, I don't have it pulled up. But yeah, either way, only 11% comes from federal dollars. Dude's an idiot. The dude's truly an idiot. Let me see if I can, let me pull up the TikTok, because I responded to the TikTok saying he's an idiot. I know you know who I am. Where are my videos, TikTok? Here we go. Of course TikTok's suppressing this shit, but whatever.
Get together like and sing Kumbaya, man.
No, we shouldn't just get together and sing Kumbaya, but we should try and advance as a society instead of trying to do things that we already did thousands of years ago.
The literacy rate's doing real well. Good job advancing society.
The literacy rate is not doing bad because of feminism, Andrew. Get over yourself. Like, this is
what is it doing bad because? Why?
The literacy
How can you
rate
attribute it to feminism?
I asked you a question. Why is it doing bad?
The literacy rate in this country is largely failing because the public education system,
which is full of women teaching,
is incredibly underfunded and inherently
5% of our GDP more than any other nation.
The literacy rate right now is at what? It's at 80%. Like what do you mean it's doing bad? It's at 80%, bro. Andrew Wilson's a fucking idiot, dude. He's so stupid. Picklegate is the greatest thing that's ever happened ever, and we'll talk about Picklegate in a second. But the literacy rate's 80%. What do you mean it's doing bad? What are you talking about? He's so stupid. He just says shit.
It's the most overfunded, underfunded thing in the planet.
It's by district. It's not funded by the federal government.
And they get the same amount per district.
Public schools are, yes. No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, the fuck, they don't. Bullshit. Public schools are funded by property taxes, which depends on the district you
get
live in.
paid by the head for federal funding. Federal funding.
Yes, but public schools do not receive the primarity of their fund, or the majority of their funding through federal funding.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
No, they don't.
No, they don't. He's a moron, dude.
All right, here's what we can do if you guys are both.
He's so intentionally dishonest. That's why when the person came into my stream the other day, it was like, would you debate Andrew Wilson? I'm like, for fucking what? For fucking what? Like, huh? Why? So he can just say, I would debate him if there was a real-time fact check for every claim that is made. Wait, I understand the literacy rate, like, right, so 80% literacy rate, I don't think is that bad comparatively. Now, we can talk about the competency of that literacy rate, but I would just blame poverty on most of that. I would blame, like she did, blame poverty, underfunded schooling, things like that. I'm not, his whole claim is that it's women's fault. You know why? Because Andrew Wilson is a fucking idiot. He's a moron. Like, he's so stupid. But I'm also not looking at it comparatively. I'm just saying if I was like looking at America alone and it's like 80% of Americans can read, I think that's fine. I think that's okay. Right? If you want to look at it comparatively, sure. But if I'm just looking at it on its own, I don't see an issue. But Picklegate, holy shit. Picklegate is the greatest thing I've ever seen. Picklegate is, in my opinion, the greatest thing that's ever happened ever. It's the greatest.
Grip it.
It is so fucking funny, dude.
You got to open it.
Oh, I have to open it right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
It's easier because it's an olive jar, though.
Uh-oh. Come on, you can do it.
Put it right side up. Just
You can
so
do it.
doesn't
You
spill
got
on you.
this.
All right, bro. I can't do it.
Oh, I
Here.
forgot to add Jesus's
I guess, yeah, Andrew, go ahead.
Christian God is
I'm
evil.
supposed to
the
open the
debate
pickle
list.
jar?
Let's do that.
It's like a, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I do. This seems a little.
It's all fucking
It's just
slick now.
it's a little.
See, it
little
is.
fun.
Yeah, baby.
Uh-oh, Andrew. If you can't open it either.
Well, your hand greased the whole top of it.
Holy shit, you're such a fucking baby
You gotta
Andrew
open it.
Wilson. You
Right now?
fucking
Okay.
Yes.
pussy,
It's easier
bro.
because it's an olive jar, though.
Uh-oh. Come on, you can do it.
Put it right side up.
You can do it. You got this.
All right, bro. I can't do it. Here.
All right. I guess, yeah, Andrew, go ahead.
Him, bro, look at his face as he tries to open the pickle jar. Please, it's so funny. It is everything I've ever needed off the Red Pill podcasts.
I'm supposed to open the pickle jar?
It's like a...
He's so scared.
Oh,
He's
jeez.
so scared. Bro, have you ever opened a pickle jar before? Why are you so afraid to open it? Oh
Dude,
my
this is
God,
little-
you punk.
It's all fucking
It's just
slick
for-
now.
it's a little-
You punk ass
I gotta
bitch.
grip it.
Uh-oh, Andrew. If you can't open it either.
Well, your hand greased the whole top of it.
My hand are fine.
You
Here, high
fuck
five.
your-
My-
Literally,
Your hand greased it.
Look, feel it. Tell,
Fucking
isn't that
baby,
greasy?
bro?
It was like that already. Oh my God.
no,
you're
it
ridiculous.
wasn't. You greased the top.
Use
Oh
your
my
shirt.
Jesus,
Use your
Andrew.
shirt,
If you can't open the olive jar, you cannot
Here,
blame my
while we're doing
hand.
the olive jar...
If you're so strong, you should open it.
Yeah, I got to be able to grip it.
Okay, we'll grip it.
I mean, you
Let's go.
could probably grip it if
Slippery.
you had grip strength, Andrew. Your little baby hands.
Uh-oh. Back.
Grab me a paper towel so I can dry the top of it off.
Okay, once the top is dry, if you still
but do
can't
we
get it
now
out.
need to allow her another opportunity with the
Yeah, give her the
towel?
paper towel so
Give her
that...
the-
No,
paper
I think
towel.
you should do it, Andrew. You're the big, strong man. There you go. Come on.
Here,
just
I'm going to
gotta
let
make
some
sure I
chats come
Ungrease.
through.
Yo, Maddie, they even
Got some
become a tier
chats
3
while
member
they're
on
working
YouTube.
Reasoning.
I'll let you go first if you want.
No, Andrew, I greased it all up. There you
Rules are
go.
absolute.
Frizz, they from a tier 1 member on YouTube.
I can't grip the fucker.
Uh-oh.
Like, I got to have a way to grip it.
Jungle.
Andrew, I'm sorry. It's not.
My fingers slip
What
right
is
off the lid. My fingers are literally slipping
It's
off
so
the lid.
funny,
I just can't grip
dude.
it.
Oh, you can't blame me for my greasy fingers now. Like, go on.
It's still greasy.
Philosophy book.
Here, go. Okay, now I want it to be
I got
fun. It's
this.
like pissing me off.
Me off.
Yeah, I know.
Should
it's
we
fine,
have
it's
Jake?
fine.
You'll get the same thing. Come in here, Jake. You think? Come on, you'll see for yourself.
He's about to be so
You can't get your
emasculated.
fucking
Watch
hand
his
on it.
face.
Try
Watch
it.
his face when this man opens the jar.
You fucker. That was bullshit. Bullshit. I
All right.
loosened it for you.
I just want to say for record.
We got a little olive juice.
Way.
Get off the table.
So does he have your? Does he own
No
your free will
fucking
now? 'Cause
way,
he could
bro.
Open it and you couldn't, based on Forrest.
Wipe it up.
He could at least grip it.
That's
I
not
guess.
even the end of it, too.
So I don't know.
Here, wipe it up, though. I just want to remind you, Andrew, that Jake just totally mogged you. You had it
kinda
for a
mogged all of
minute,
us.
Andrew, and you
It
were
was
standing
greasy
up and
as
shit.
fuck, and
You
I
were
couldn't grip
standing
it.
up and shit. Give it another.
Like,
come
bro,
on.
excuses.
No, it's so
This is what it is,
You gotta
guys.
tap it?
Andrew
All right,
Wilson
let's
is showing us real men make excuses. Real men make excuses.
Do it on the table if you can.
Oh shit!
Wait, put it on the table. Put it on the table.
Oh. Oh, I got myself.
Oh, no. There we go.
Yo, the manosphere is in shambles, dude. The manosphere is in fucking shambles. I'm sorry. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen, bro. That is so fucking funny. Like, you have no fucking idea how funny. Oh, he was panicking like crazy at the end. And did you notice she opened it without needing a paper towel, but he still did? Little baby boy Andrew Wilson, little baby boy. Like, listen, bro, if you can't open a jar, who gives a fuck? But you set the parameters that it's like, women can't do this. It's all they make it. Who cares? Fuck, dude. Who gives a fuck? Yo, look at Randy coping in the YouTube chat. What do you mean? He literally destroyed her. Yeah, I'm sure he did. Yo, Jax, thank you for the $10 tip. Said for Picklegate. That's great. Amazing, guys. Amazing. I have a feeling Andrew Wilson doesn't wash his ass after watching this clip. I don't think he washes his ass. Oh boy. Call line is open, by the way. We got a couple of topics on the board today. We have trans men and women are men and women. Trump is a fascist. MAGA is a cult. Oh, I have to take off the office hours part. We're not doing office hours today. Office hours are going to become a Friday thing. I'll also, I'll get rid of the top where it just says Trump is ruining America because, like, nobody reads that anyway. I'll just move this up. Yeah, she. The manosphere is so dumb, dude. Red pill podcasts are so fucking stupid. Hello, are you here to debate?
Oh, hello. Yes, I am.
All right, what's your name, age, or pronouns?
My name is Rain, Raine. I am 21 and he, him.
Okay, Rain, what topic did you disagree with on the board?
I was talking about communism, but this is not about communism specifically because I actually agree with communism to an extent. It's just I'm worried about like how we could transition to communism because it requires I've been watching your videos for quite a while actually, and I think you're great. It's just I've never I just have a problem with socialism, like like requiring an authoritarian state or whatever. You know what I mean?
Socialism doesn't require an authoritarian state.
Wait, what do you mean?
I mean exactly what I just said. Socialism doesn't require an authoritarian state.
Oh, I thought it did. Because like,
No.
how do you enforce the means of production? Like how do you enforce private companies to give up the means of production?
I mean, you can enforce it the same way you enforce the protection over the means of production, right? Would you consider America currently as it is an authoritarian state? Well, let me rephrase that. Would you consider a state with like a police force like inherently authoritarian?
Huh.
Because the police enforce the protection of private capital, right? So what would be wrong with them enforcing like the protection of public capital? Now, don't get me wrong. I feel like if we have a group of people who very much want to go back to capitalism, they can open an island and live on that beautiful island by themselves and never come to the mainland ever again, if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But I think the bigger thing is if you can educate people enough so that the average person is what's the word I'm looking for? So the average person is, why isn't this working again? Sorry. So that the average person is like understands capitalism bad, you know, like they understand that capitalism bad and socialism good. You're not going to see people wanting to move to a system of like a capital system again, because what would be the point? Like if your needs are met, why would anybody want to go to a system where they have to fucking struggle to survive under the threat of starvation? They wouldn't.
All right. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you. That explains a lot, actually.
All right. No problem.
All right. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Someone in the comments said, oh, if you want to do communism, just go to an island. Except every time somebody tries to do that, the United States destroys them from the inside out. So doesn't seem like we're able to just go do a communism because they try and destroy us when we try to do a communism. Are we forgetting what happened to Pinochet and Allende? Are we forgetting what happened with them? Are we forgetting what the U.S. did to Cuba? Are we forgetting what the U.S. did to... Hold on, let's pull them up. Hold on. Let's pull up the list. Because I love lists. Let's see. We got Guatemala in 1954, Cuba in 61, Haiti in 04, Puerto Rico in 1950, Dominican Republic in 65, Grenada in 83, Venezuela in 2002, Chile in 73. That's what I was talking about when it was Allende and Pinochet. Panama in 89, Nicaragua 81 through 90, Honduras in 2009, El Salvador in 81 to 92. So like it doesn't shock me that like, you know, when island nations or when nations separate of the U.S. try to do a communism, This is what happens. Someone said communism's killed more people. It hasn't. You're just being brainwashed by the big book of communism, which used birth rates to try to analyze death rates, which isn't really a thing. When we look at like the numbers between communism and capitalism, they actually kind of even themselves out. I don't know if you know this. You probably don't, which is why I just explained it to you. Anyway, call line's back open. No, that wasn't due to the Cold War. A lot of these were post-Cold War. So, for instance, Chile... Well, I'll explain it after this call. Hello, are you here to debate?
Oh, hello. Hello, yeah. I'm calling from Finland, so excuse my accent.
Okay, no problem. Can I just get your name, age, and pronouns?
It's Elias. I would prefer she, her, and I'm 22. And
can I get your name one more time?
That, Elias.
Elia?
I say Eli.
Eli. Okay, I'm sorry. You're just. No. It's not even your accent. You're breaking up, so it's hard to hear you.
Oh, excuse me. But I just quickly wanted to say, thank you for like doing all this stuff. And
sure.
Thanks to you, I could like teach my mom more about like all this trans stuff.
Oh,
so yeah, thank you.
No problem.
That's Jesse. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Have a good one. Someone, while trying to slur, was like, "If you like communism, take your ass to a communist country." There are none. There are none. There are none. They don't exist. It's not a single communist country in the world right now. You got some socialist ones like Cuba, but you don't have any communist countries right now. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, sir. How are you?
Chilling, I'm chilling. Can I just get your name, age, and pronouns, please?
Sure. My name is Drake. I'm 28. I am a man.
Okay, so I assume you use he, him pronouns?
Sure.
You don't sound too sure. Did people call you she, her instead? Because I will if you prefer that.
No, not usually. My dad does sometimes when he's trying to be mean.
Ooh, yikes. What topic did you want to debate about?
I guess deportations.
Okay.
I think it's a good thing.
You think mass deportations are a good thing?
Yes, sir.
Okay, why?
Well, if some laws don't matter, then no laws do. And I know there's a lot of picking and choosing, and a lot of times police can just do whatever the heck they want. I don't agree with that, but the idea that anybody can come in just from wherever, I mean, you wouldn't let random people into your house. Why would it be any different with the country?
Well, I would say it's vastly different, right? Letting random people into a home versus an area of land. Yeah.
Why?
Well, just intuitively, it feels vastly different, right? If I'm saying like, I don't want someone coming into my home, typically my home is like a private domicile where I want privacy, right? So like I wouldn't even let my friends into my home at any time of the day because it's a private area. The country is a public place. Like I don't mind if somebody comes into a public area.
So you'd be okay with people like sitting on your front lawn?
Yeah, sure.
Not in your house?
Yeah, sure.
All day?
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I don't think that's
why would I care about that?
Why would you care if there was a mob of people outside of your house? I don't know. I think that'd be this would, in order to analogize this properly, you'd have to basically say the amount of space in the US versus how many people showed up, then fraction that off to the amount of space in my front yard and place people there proportionately. And I think if you did that, you're going to have like a blade of grass, right? Like blade of grass worth of people, right? It's not like people coming into the country are taking up all this space that we don't have. We have the resources to house these people. We have the resources for them to work. I don't understand what we can't even house our own veterans.
Do you think that's because of lack of resources or because of cuts to
lack
veteran
of allocation
programs?
Of resources? We're busy spending money on gender studies.
We absolutely have the resources to house veterans. We don't fund it.
No, I know. I'm saying it's a misallocation of the resources of the issue.
Yeah, but why is there a misallocation of resources? Because it's not because those resources are going to other things, right? It's because, like federally, well, you could make the argument that it's because the resources are going to like the military. That's where the bulk of our budget is. But like, where do you think? I'll phrase it this way. When's the last time the GOP has passed like a significant bill that tackles homelessness amongst veterans?
I don't know. I don't think Democrats have either. I don't know if that's really. I mean, the major issue is really like you can't allow unvetted people to just come in.
Oh, sure. Then why don't we just give them a path to citizenship and vet them?
Why would we want to do that?
Well, if the issue is they're unvetted, this would be vetting them.
Just blanket giving them citizenship isn't vetting them.
Yes, it would be if we're. I just said, why don't we give them a path to citizenship and vet them through that path to citizenship?
What would that look like?
If they're coming from a different country, I think we can just work with the other country to get their criminal record, right? We can do that pretty easily and have it be like almost instantaneous. And if they don't have a criminal record,
So
we let them in.
what would disqualify somebody in this?
A violent criminal past.
Violent criminal past.
Yeah, if they don't have a criminal past.
Kind of like the Maryland
but
man.
even then I put an asterisk and say that like if that violent past, well, he didn't have a violent criminal past before coming to the country. Once you're in the country, I'm not kicking you out because you committed violence. Like our citizens commit violence and we don't kick them out, right? But like an asterisk for that would be like if that violence was committed when you were a child, I'd or a young person, I'd probably look at the situation of that and determine from there. If it was committed as an adult, I'd probably say, yeah, you're probably not going to let you in unless you can show substantially that you've gone through like rehabilitative procedures.
But like, where's the incentive for like myself as like I can trace my heritage back to the Mayflower and the slave ships? Where's the incentive for somebody like me to say some guy from Nigeria who we can't really get his records because he's a tribal person? Where's the incentive of me saying,
first, what are you talking about? Nigeria has a criminal justice system that houses records.
Absolutely,
where are you getting this?
The North and the South don't get along. There's definitely parts of the place that have no documentation.
Hold on. I just really want to know, what does it matter? Why do you need incentive? What do I care about if you have incentive or not?
Exactly. Why do I care about them?
You don't have to care about them.
Well, if I have to share my country with them, don't I? If their vote counts,
you don't get to decide. You as an individual don't get to decide who you share your country with. Your country is not your property.
But I get to vote on the people who make these decisions. So why would I want to vote for random people to have this?
You don't want people to have better lives?
I would love them to fix wherever the hell they're from.
Why can't they just, what's the issue? What is the, hold on. What I'm proposing here is that we adjust legal immigration and give them legal pathways to citizenship and make it easier for people to have legal pathways to citizenship so that they're not on like a 10 to 20 year wait list. What you're saying is, why should they come here, period?
Yes.
So you just think that our country should be sans immigrants, like just no immigrants in the country?
I would say not until we figure out what happened with the 10 million people that came over in the past 4 years. No, I think we should put a pause on all immigration.
We know where they are. They're here. What is that?
Well, yeah, we know where they are, but
why do you think? Why do you think so many people came into the country illegally over the last 4 years?
I mean, economic migration, probably.
Sure. What are the two biggest causes for illegal migration?
I just gave you one. I mean, I don't know what the second one would be, I guess.
Yeah, sure. I'll tell you. The second one would be a lack of legal options. So when legal options are turned down, illegal options go up. So as a country locks down legally, people are going to try to come in illegally, right? And we know that over the 4 years Biden was president, about 11.2 to 11.6 million illegal immigrants came into the country, right?
Sure.
During Trump's first term, do you know how many people he decreased legal immigration by?
I don't know if you could really give an accurate number.
You can, because we can look at the amount of visas and green cards that were issued and see if he decreased that amount.
But like, just Trump being in office is going to de-incentivize people to migrate, I would say.
No, this would be about the amount that the U.S. government issues, not the amount that people are applying. So if the U.S. government is issuing less, right, that's because, and that's specifically because Trump passed policies in the federal government to decrease the amount of green cards and visas that he issued. And he issued about 11.6. He decreased them by about 11.6 million.
Okay.
So it's interesting that in his term, legal immigration was decreased by about 11.6 million. And then in Biden's 4 years, illegal immigration rose by about 11.2, 11.6. You could probably take it up to like 11.8 or 12. But it's interesting that the numbers are so close, right? When we know that decreasing legal immigration helps increase illegal immigration.
Okay.
So, like, don't you think we would have seen less people had we not decreased the people that could legally come in?
So if the goal is to have less people,
the goal shouldn't be to have less people. And in fact, Donald Trump didn't even run on a platform of the goal being having less people. He ran on a platform of strengthening legal immigration.
Definitely mentioned putting a pause or moratorium on immigration.
I didn't hear one prior to his election. He said he was going to make sure that legal immigrants were okay, but then he removed their ability to receive green cards or visas. And in fact, we know that when we look at the illegal immigration number, 60% of all people that are here illegally are visa overstays. They're people who overstayed their visas.
Well, I mean, if your visa gets revoked and you're not able to renew it, you need to leave. That's the law.
Yeah, but if you're just indiscriminately taking away people's visas,
so if you're just
they're going to stay.
Breaking the law, why would what's the incentive?
It's not a law. It's not breaking the law to overstay your visa. That wouldn't be a breaking of the law.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It's a civil violation.
Okay, it's a civil violation.
Yeah.
What's the difference
between a civil and a criminal? It means it's not a criminal act
or immigration.
It would be like you speeding, right? Do you think you should be kicked out of a country if you speed? Right, speeding is a civil violation.
I guess it depends on the context, right? If you're going 120 miles an hour in Canada in a 20, yeah, you should probably get thrown out.
You should be thrown out of the country out of a country if you speed.
Let's say I'm in Canada visiting, right? And I'm going 120 miles an hour downtown Toronto. Yeah, I should probably get thrown out.
Why?
Because I'm obviously a danger to that society.
Yeah, but why does that result in you being kicked out? We don't kick out people in
why
our
does being a danger
country.
to a society result in you getting kicked out? I don't know, man.
Well, yeah. You're only saying the people that should be kicked out are. You're saying people who are dangerous to society should be kicked out, but you don't hold this for citizens. You only hold this for non-citizens.
Correct, because if you're a citizen, you have a right to be here. If you're a non-citizen, you don't. Unless if you're a permanent resident, that's different, I would say. But if you're not a green card holder, no. If you're here on like a worker's visa or something like that, I'm sorry. No.
Yeah, but why? Can you elaborate more than just because you're not a citizen? Wait, but again, the danger to society doesn't. Your danger to society doesn't hold. That doesn't.
You've proven that you can't follow the rules.
Yeah, so some
you don't
citizens
get to play in the sandbox if you can't follow the rules.
Wait, why do we allow citizens to play in the sandbox who don't follow the rules then?
Because it's their sandbox.
Okay, so it's okay to break the rules if it's your sandbox.
It's kind of like having a roommate, right? Or like a brother, right? If your brother is rubbing shit on the walls, you're going to be pissed off at him and you might kick him in the face. But if your brother's friend does it, you're going to throw him out of the house.
I would also throw my brother out of the house.
Sure, but it's not. If you and your brother are both on the deed, what are you going to do?
This analogy does not hold because it's not about being on the deed. No, like what? Nobody's on a deed in America, right? There's no deed. There's no like.
Plenty of people are on deeds in America.
You know that. You know that the U.S. can revoke citizenship of its citizens, right?
Sure,
so again, I'm asking why don't they use that as a punishment then? If that's your criteria.
I mean, I would say maybe we should have that as an option rather than being like locked up for the rest of your life or put to death. You should be able to revoke your citizenship and live in exile. I'd be open to that.
Let me ask you something. Do you believe that somebody entering the country illegally is grounds for them being thrown into like one of the world's strictest prisons?
I think it's grounds to have them thrown out of the country.
Okay. So you disagree with Trump throwing people into CCOT?
I'd have to know individual cases. I don't know. I can't blatantly say
KILMAR, ABREGO, GARCIA got thrown into CCOT, and he has zero criminal record. Do you think people with zero criminal record? Correct. Zero criminal record. He has no criminal record. No criminal history.
Wasn't he like found by a court to be like an MS-13 gang member or something like that?
Nope. No, a judge said police seemed to have probable cause to believe he was a gang member, but this was for a bond hearing. This was not a court case. This is the judge saying, well, it seems probable.
I'm not really familiar with the situation. I couldn't really speak on it.
Yeah, the judge said it seemed probable that he might be, so I won't grant him bond. A future judge said, yeah, he's not, so we're going to let him go.
Yeah, and that may be well and good and true, but I'm really not familiar with the situation. I can't.
Well, I'll explain the situation. He has zero criminal history. This was even confirmed by the Supreme Court.
I'd have to do some research.
No, you don't. I'm telling you literally what the Supreme Court said about this man. He has zero criminal history, and he's now in a prison in El Salvador.
I mean, again, this is from you though. How can I take that?
Let's say this is true. Let's just run under the assumption for a second that everything I say is true.
Assuming this man has done nothing wrong other than come to the country illegally.
Well, hold on. It's not about doing something wrong. It's about a criminal history, right? Because without being proven in the court of law that you did something wrong.
Assuming this man has broken no laws other than coming over the border illegally, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think he should be deported, not thrown into jail. What happens in his country, wherever he might have been from, once he gets there, if they have, if they want to throw him in jail, that's between him and his country. I want nothing to do with it.
Okay. Now, what if this man has a order from a United States immigration court saying he cannot be removed to said country? Now, what do we do?
What level was the court that said it? And who
immigration court. An executive, part of the executive branch.
Court, a district court, where are we at?
A district court judge.
A district court judge. And who ordered the deportation?
What would that matter? Deportation orders can't override immigration district court judges.
Well, because I mean, like a local judge can't just
say, a local judge. It's it's not a local judge. It's a federal judge. It's not a local judge.
Right. A district judge. They're over so many states, right?
This isn't hold on. Right? This is a federal immigration court judge appointed by the federal government. Okay.
Okay, so an unelected federal official, right?
All judges are unelected. Federal judges, all federal judges are unelected. Yes, they are.
Right. So an unelected federal official.
That's how federal judges work. They have to be unelected.
Yes.
The goalpost is just moving constantly. Why is the goalpost moving so much?
Right. Why? What do you mean the goalpost is moving?
The goalpost move. What does them being unelected have to do with anything? It has nothing to do with anything. Like quite literally nothing.
Well,
like the relevancy of that is zero.
Would you take an order from an elected official more seriously than an order from an unelected official?
I would take both. I would take both. I would take both in the same vein.
I wouldn't.
Okay, I don't care if you would take it doesn't change the legality of it, right? Whether you would or not doesn't change the legality. That if a federal court judge told you something and you didn't do it, you'd go to federal prison.
You can say,
Not
I don't
true.
want to do it. It
Depends-
doesn't matter.
Depends on the context.
No, it doesn't.
Absolutely, it does.
No, it doesn't.
If a higher court judge issued something and a lower court judge issued something contradictory to it, you would take the higher court.
Yes, but there is no higher court for immigration than a federal immigration judge. There's quite literally nobody higher for federal cases. When there is a federal immigration judge who makes a ruling, that ruling stays in effect. The Supreme Court has even confirmed this. This isn't federal immigration judges are not part of the judicial branch. They're part of the executive branch.
I'm sorry. Federal judges are not part of the judicial branch?
Immigration court judges are a part of the executive branch of government, not the judicial.
Okay. So, based on the scenario that I've already said that I'm not familiar with, right? Just, yes. I don't know. What do you want me to say?
Well, I'm telling you, if a person has an order from an immigration judge, which is part of the executive branch, saying that legally they cannot be deported to a country, and somebody comes in and deports them to that country, what do you think should happen to the person that illegally deported them to that country?
I guess it would matter where that person was on the executive branch, right? If they're at a higher position, like if the president himself said, "Get him out," like
legally the president cannot go against an immigration court order.
But
we have that written in. We have.
Branch.
It's not how. Yeah, but. Okay, so this might be an issue, might be a civics issue. You might not understand like the civics of this, but presidents do not have unilateral power to do whatever they want. There is still a system in place, and there are still parts of the executive branch that when they make a decision, the president must follow said decision. And one of these is immigration court judges. So if an immigration court judge rules that this person is granted a withholding of removal to a specific country, the president cannot come in and send them to that country without first going to court and having the order rescinded. Otherwise, it's illegal.
Or suspending habeas corpus, right?
Well, habeas corpus has not been suspended, so. And it would be pretty bad if it was.
Right, but I mean, you're saying the president can't do whatever he wants. I mean,
sure, if he gets congressional approval to suspend habeas corpus, then he can do whatever he wants, and we just all have to cope with our rights being taken away. But if without that congressional approval, he can't do that. Just like the president can't unilaterally like fund
ignoring a judge that's not part of the judicial branch. I don't know.
Well, here's the fun part about the KILMAR ABREGO case. It then went to the Supreme Court, where the Supreme Court said, hey, Donald Trump administration, what you did was illegal, and you have to bring this person back to give him due process. And do you know what the Donald Trump administration did?
No, said no.
They ignored the Supreme Court. So what should we do when a president just decides that they don't need any sort of checks and balances and they can do whatever the fuck they want? What do we do?
I don't know. What are you calling for? Like, just open revolt?
Would it be a revolt to remove somebody who is violating people's constitutional rights? Would that be a revolt?
Yeah, I mean, you could say the same thing about Lincoln when he suspended habeas corpus.
Lincoln got congressional approval.
Revolt. I wouldn't agree with the reason behind it, but I mean, that's what it is.
Lincoln got congressional approval.
Sure. He's still
Trump does not have congressional approval. Trump does not have congressional approval right now to remove habeas corpus. So if he's acting in a way that violates people's rights without removing habeas corpus, should we just be okay with this? We should just take this line down.
Non-citizens should be allotted the same rights as citizens.
it has been affirmed by the Supreme Court time and time again that non-citizens are granted the right to due process. Time and time again. Over and over and over and over and over again. Do you want
That's not what I asked.
That's my answer. Yes, they have a constitutional right to due process in the United States. So yes, they should be given their constitutional.
Do you think they should have all the same rights as American citizens?
They don't have all the rights of American citizens.
I'm asking.
I think they should have rights that have to do with like the justice system, but no, I probably wouldn't grant them every single right that we have.
Same rights as American citizens?
No, because I don't think non-citizens should be able to. No, because I don't think non-citizens should be able to vote. So I do think there are some rights that they shouldn't have.
Okay.
However,
all right. Well, I mean,
their right to due process is real and exists. And again, the Supreme Court has affirmed this multiple times. So my question becomes, what should we do to a president that is violating multiple people's constitutional right to due process and just ignoring Supreme Court orders, telling him to give them back their due process? What should we do?
I mean, I don't think there's a lot that you can do.
I'll ask it a different way. Do you think it's okay that Donald Trump is doing this?
Yes.
Okay, that's all I needed. Shout out to who was that? Shout out to Miss D. Thank you for the PayPal to boot the guest. It's pretty simple. If you believe people's fucking rights should be violated, go fuck yourself. I don't know what you want me to do. Your whole stance is yes. I don't give a fuck that these people have rights. They shouldn't. Please get the fuck out of here. Again, the Supreme Court has affirmed time and time again that undocumented citizens receive the right to due process. This would be through Yickwell v. Hopkins in 86, Filer v. Doe in 82, and Zadvitas v. Davis in 01. So those are all Supreme Court cases that proves that again shows via case law and legal precedent that undocumented immigrants do have a right to due process under the legal code of the United States. I don't play this game. Come with some facts or don't come at all, guys. Shout out to the super chatters. W's in the chat for SJ for becoming a tier 1 member. Mike Doe said, I agree with Trump 100% in all what he did. Well, you're in a cult. Fun fact. RPR Aquatic said, how is Trump racist? How much time you got? And CSAP, thank you for the $10 super chat, as well as Jane K. Thank you for the $99 super chat. Holy shit, friend. Thank you so much. We are still kicking. We are still kicking. Somebody said the Supreme Court also said that specified that the right to due process is not the same as that of a U.S. citizen, you idiot. No, they didn't. Fun fact. No, they haven't. They've affirmed that the due process is your legal right to appear in court and defend yourself against the allegations made against you. The Supreme Court has not affirmed that undocumented immigrants do not have that same, they have affirmed time and time again that undocumented citizens have that same right. Time and time again. You might not like that, but learn how to read, and then maybe we can have the conversation. Toronto, I really appreciate what you and your team do. Thank you so much, I Love Burritos. Thank you for the super chat. Do remember, though, we do have a goal for a t-shirt giveaway. The goal is usually only for Cash App or Venmos. If we get to 200, I am going to give away a free t-shirt. It is going to be the newest t-shirt. Let me pull it up so everybody can see in chat. It is the Hello, Are You Here to Debate shirt. So if you are interested and you want to try to win a free shirt, consider gifting. Shout out to the person whose birthday it is. Here's a birthday theme. Thank you for redeeming that on Twitch. All right. Let's keep it going. Call-in line is open. First come, first serve. D Nice, thank you so much for the super chat. MAGA victims are hilarious. Yo, true. Hello, are you here to debate?
Hey, kinda, yeah. This is Sheep again. For people watching, it's Sheep. It's a my online name. He, they, 27. I wanted
Yeah. What's up, Sheep?
I wanted to debate number 6, but not for the reasons you might think. It's more of a concept type of thing, if that makes sense.
I mean, we can, but if you don't hold the belief, it's not going to be as fun.
Yeah, fair enough. I do think it'd be funny just to say it, just to get some people's chat riled up, though. The idea.
Well, what we can do. Well, I promise you, somebody will call in eventually. But what we can do is, if you want to have like a mock debate, either testing arguments and stuff, we could do that right on Discord. We could just hop on Discord later tonight and do that.
Okay. But basically, the idea is that God is basically like some higher power, so his idea of morality is not the same as our morality. So he basically sees us as nothing more than something like toys, that kind of stuff. So.
Oh, actually, have you ever heard my God is a soul farmer theory?
I have not heard of that. What's that?
Okay, I'll do this quickly and then try to get back to the calls. So God, okay, is actually some farmer for a higher eldritch being. So what he does is he wants souls to follow his rules and be as pure as possible, so he can sell those souls for a higher eldritch horror to like eat and devour. And that's why he doesn't want you to. Yeah. Like, you ever seen Promised Neverland? That, but with God in our souls.
I have not.
Okay, well, watch it. Well, read it. Don't watch it because season 2 is a piece of shit. But read it. Because it makes sense. God in the Bible we're often referred to as sheep or goats. Jesus and God are referred to as shepherds. We're referred to as herds. We're referred to as cattle, basically, in the Bible.
Yeah.
So, ergo, God is trying to sell us to a higher being. And the more pure our souls are, the higher price we fetch.
Interesting. All right. Thank you.
Yeah, I got you, friend. Someone make a movie about that. It would be fucking sick. I guess you could just watch Promised Neverland. Don't watch season 2, though. Season 2 is fucking god-awful. Ugh. Season 2 is disgusting. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, I am. I'm having a little bit of a afternoon coffee right now. I figured I'd call in.
All right. What's your name, age, and pronouns?
Sure. My name is I hate fucking niggers. I just came to say niggers. Nigger.
332. What do you guys think? Should I? Well, no. You know what? Let's do this. You don't get to just fucking dip out after that. Don't be a little baby. Hold on, chat. You don't get to fucking dip out after that. What the fuck do you think this is? Oh, wrong one. This one. You don't be a little bitch about it. Like, what? Of course he ain't gonna answer now. Because they're only ever big online, bro.
The subscriber you are trying to reach is not available. Please leave your message.
Oh, little bitch boy. Aw, we got a little bitch, guys. We got a little bitch boy. Damn. To be that terrified. Come on now. What do you guys think I'm about to do this time? Do it again. The fuck out of here. You don't get to run away.
subscriber you are trying to reach is not
what
available.
a scared
Please leave
little
your-
boy. That's what it is, bro. Racists are fucking terrified. They are terrified. Anyway. Fucking weak. Weak as fuck. Anyway, if you guys want to prove racists wrong, consider tipping. You know how they hate it when black people get money. Oh, shit. Yo, Sarah, thank you for the fucking Cash App, friend. Damn, you almost single-handedly got us to our t-shirt goal. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yep.
Okay, what's your name, age, and pronouns?
My name is Liam. My age is 19, and my pronouns are he, him.
Okay, Liam, we can't really hear you.
Oh, is this better?
Kinda. You said you're 19?
Mm-hmm.
What year were you born? What year were you born?
Well, 2005.
Does that track? Okay, I guess it does. What month were you born?
November.
That doesn't work. Does that work? I feel like that doesn't work.
Yeah.
My math ain't mathin'.
I,
Chat, does that track?
Your math
It tracks?
doesn't.
Okay, I guess it tracks. Sure, Liam. What did you want to debate about?
I just want to know, so what do you mean by number 6?
What do I mean by number 6?
Do you mean like God is evil, or is it like something else?
I mean the Christian God is evil, yeah.
So, okay, what? So, how is he evil? How, in your perspective, how is he evil?
Yeah, because he's done evil things, specifically like he's done actions that I would consider to be evil actions.
Well,
Like he personally has done them.
Well, what actions? Name one action.
Yeah, convincing a man to kill his son, I think is evil.
When did he do that? Read the Bible. When did he do that?
When did he convince people to kill their kids? Well, all the time, but like specifically Abraham. He convinced Abraham to try to kill his son. And Abraham took his son onto the altar, tied his son down, and then went to kill him. But God stopped him at the last moment. But I think, telling someone to kill their kid is evil.
But also creating the world and making every human being is also a pretty good deed. Yeah, I think it's just a little good. Yeah.
Yeah, I think do you think doing good things wipes away all the evil that you do? So for instance, Hitler brought Germany.
Not at all. But
okay.
I think if you do a certain amount of good things, like the bad things don't seem as bad. I'm not saying he should have done that. That was really bad. But he did create the entire world. If he didn't, we wouldn't be here.
Okay. What about let's keep going with this. What about what he did to Job? Would we consider him evil for the shit he did to Job?
Yeah, but also, hold on. All right, hold up. Also, saying the Christian God is evil, that's kind of like saying, if you wouldn't say that you wouldn't say that to like a Buddhist, because that would be
I don't know enough about Buddhism, but if I knew enough about Buddhism to know that their God was evil, yeah, I would, 100%.
No, because then you would be called out for it.
I don't care about being called out for it.
Quote unquote canceled and shit.
I don't give a fuck about getting canceled for calling out religion. What? I also think Islam's pretty fucked up because fucking Muhammad fucked a 12-year-old. That doesn't really. I don't mind saying this shit out loud. I just know the most about Christianity.
All right.
Do you think God was evil when he said slavery was okay?
Huh?
Do you think God was evil when he said slavery was okay?
I mean, yes, fuck. Yes, yeah.
Okay, so God is evil.
Hold on. But when he... Yeah, but it's not... Like, he changed that shit in the New Testament.
No, God is never changing. That's part of the Bible. God never changes. Jesus also said the New Testament doesn't abolish the Old Testament laws. He said he came to complete the, or what was it specifically? He says specifically he came to complete the laws, not to abolish the laws.
All right, I can't change your point of view, but I also disagree with 4.
Well, I just want to point out you can't change my view because you're not quoting any biblical like work to do so. You're just like saying
because I just recently became Christian and I haven't really read much of the Bible yet.
Okay, well, I would read the Bible and then you will learn that God is evil. But you said you also disagree with 4. Why do you disagree with 4?
I don't know. I feel like if kids want to be LGBTQ, I feel like they should learn about that stuff on their own. I don't think it should be a dedicated class to doing that stuff.
Why do you think there would be a dedicated class? Is there a dedicated class in like high schools to teach Black issues or Black history? Or do we have a class created in schools called social studies, which is the study of societies?
Social studies, yeah.
Yeah, so we can just teach these things in social studies.
Yeah, but that's like people learning about Christianity in a public school.
I think people should learn about Christianity in a public school. I think the Bible and the history of Christianity and stuff should be taught in school, yeah.
No, like preaching, like you should be Christian. You should be.
Nobody tells people that they should be LGBTQ in schools. That doesn't happen.
It comes across with that because then kids learn that.
It doesn't come across that. It doesn't come across that either. Kids just learn that it's okay for them to be who they are.
Yeah, I'm not saying that's a bad thing if they're gay. I'm saying that it's kind of like, I don't know, it's kind of like teaching a sex ed class to young kids.
I think sexual health education should be taught to everybody, kindergarten through 12th grade.
Oh, so you think kindergarten should be learning about how the dick goes in the ass?
No, they should be learning about sexual health education, which is teaching them about their bodies and their body parts, because we have evidence, like 50 years worth of studies, to show that it decreases the rate of childhood assault. Because if we teach children about their bodies and we teach them about consent early on, they're able to tell us when an adult is breaking that consent. And it protects children from predators.
Teach them that adults that they don't know shouldn't touch them or touch them in certain areas. Don't tell them about how.
Yes, in school, we teach things at an age-appropriate level. That's just a blanket rule for all schools. So we would teach sexual health education at a age-appropriate level, which again would be teaching children the name of their body parts and teaching them consent.
You just said K to 12.
Yes, kindergartners should know the names of their body parts and know consent.
All right. What happens when it comes to first grade? What are they learning then?
Okay, there's no way you're 19, fam.
I am, fam.
There's no way. What year did you graduate high school?
Huh?
What year did you graduate high school?
2024.
I mean, chat, he's checking all the boxes. He knows the answers to all the questions. He could just have a really high voice.
I do.
Asking what a mortgage is crazy. Sure, yeah. But yeah, again, children should know the name of their body parts and they should know consent.
Yeah, but they also, I feel like they should really start, at least the youngest age, the youngest age, they should start being, what the fuck? The youngest age they should start learning about this stuff is 6th grade, after the youngest.
You think kids should learn about consent at 6th grade?
Not consent. People should. Parents should tell their
consent
kids.
and teaching
Parents
good
should
touch,
tell their
bad
kids.
touch. Wait, teaching good touch, bad touch, and teaching about consent is part of sexual health education.
Okay, then have this. Don't make a whole ass class for kindergartners teaching about all that stuff.
Teaching about consent?
No, because all right, they learn it like the first day. Let's say. What did they do then? What did they do then?
Well, we would continue on. We actually have the curriculum on like a federal level, how they should be learning comprehensive sexual health education, but it also includes like family and friend circle learning. Like I said, it would be about teaching them about the proper names of their body parts, so they're better able to report assault when it happens. It doesn't need to be, that when we teach something in schools, it doesn't have to be like a year-long thing. Like they can have like 1 or 2 lessons about this, and like we would move on to the next thing.
All right.
That's why I feel like you didn't graduate high school, because I feel like you would know that.
All right. Okay, I'm just saying my point of view. I'm just saying kindergartners should learn about consent, but younger kids shouldn't learn about the other parts of sex ed.
Did you do your taxes this year?
Huh?
Did you do your taxes this year?
My dad did them for me because I asked him to.
I don't fucking believe it, dude. My dad did my taxes for me is crazy. That's fucking so funny. So fucking funny, dude. Should have asked about a Roth IRA. Is crazy. How old do you have to be to call in? I prefer to only talk to people 18 and up. The reason for that is I just don't feel like I should be streaming somebody's kid without them knowing or their permission and stuff. Just like I wouldn't like film someone's child in public and post the video online, because I just feel like that's sort of wrong to do. It's just like intuitively that kind of feels fucked up. But like there's nothing I can do if somebody lies. Like if somebody says I'm 18, I have to take them at their word. I don't have a lie detector. And he very well could have just had a high voice. What is a woman? Whitney Houston. She's every woman. I'm every woman. It's all in me. Call line's open. Yo, Kay, thank you for the $10 Venmo. Thank you, friend. We are $40 away from a free t-shirt giveaway. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to call in and say that guy was most definitely not 19. Holy.
Rob. Okay. There's nothing I can do. If somebody lies, they lie, dog. There's nothing I can do about that. Preferably, I prefer people don't lie. I'm every woman. It's all in me. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes. I made it. This is awesome.
Cool. What's your name, age, and pronouns? I'm chilling.
My name is the Catholic Defender. I'm a male, so you can use he, him. And did you have another question?
Yeah, your age.
Oh, I'm 35 years old.
Okay. And what did you disagree with on the board?
So I didn't see this topic on the board, and if you want to talk about it, great. And if you don't, then we can go to one of the topics on the board. One of my favorite topics to talk about actually is abortion.
Sure. What about abortion?
Do you support abortion?
Yes, up to 9 months. 10
Okay.
months.
Why?
Because I believe that a woman has, like any person, has the right to remove another being from their body if they no longer consent to that being using the resources of said body.
Okay. Do you acknowledge that the human being in the womb is a human being?
Sure.
Okay. So you said that you think that if a human being is using the body of another human being, then it is okay to terminate them?
If they are, no, I believe it's okay to remove them. So you can remove anybody from your body if they're inside of your body at any point if you no longer consent to them using the resources of your body, right? So this would be, now obviously there's going to be a threshold here, right? So I think that like somebody using like my manual labor is going to be a bit different than someone using my blood. So I think there's a reasonable expectation of labor when we're looking at people, and then there's an unreasonable expectation of labor. And I would say your bodily resources, such as oxygen, blood, nutrients, giving someone that without consent is an unreasonable expectation of your labor.
Okay. Can we give a hypothetical situation and see what you think about it?
If you'd like to.
Sure. Let's say a mother and her child are trapped in a snowstorm for 9 months, and there's food in the shelter that they're in for the mother to eat, but it's food that the baby cannot eat. Do you think that the mother is obligated to feed her born child by breastfeeding to keep that child alive?
Yes.
Why?
Because I believe that when you have sentient humans, our obligations change slightly to when we have non-sentient humans. So I do believe that when it comes to like sentient people, I believe we're all sort of innately obligated. I mean, I'm a communist, so I think we're all innately obligated to provide for each other, just from the nature of being people. But for unsentient things, I think we're not. This is why I hold a threshold at about 24 weeks for abortion, and I believe post 24 or pre 24 weeks, when the fetus is not sentient, do whatever you want, kill it. I don't give a fuck. Post 24 weeks, when it is sentient, I would say the only ways that you should remove it, so you can still maintain your bodily autonomy by getting it out. The only ways to remove it would be non-lethal ways, unless there's some sort of medical issue and there's no way around it. Then you, as the person whose body it is, gets to decide.
Yeah, let's talk about post 24 weeks for a minute. So, I mean, in some circumstances, you know, I've heard people debate that abortion after 24 weeks, which I would agree with you is wrong. Because, I mean, if you just look at it, like trying to abort past there, it takes much more time to remove the dead human being from a body than it would emergency C-section. Do you agree with me there?
Sure, but most abortions done after 24 weeks, I think it's 96 or 97% of abortions done post third trimester are for medical necessity in the U.S. I think is the last number that I had.
Well, can you state any conditions where that would be the case?
Medical conditions?
Yeah,
if
where abortion is the medically necessary treatment.
Yeah, if you've gone septic.
Okay, but you're aware that in order to abort at that point. So wait. Let's just establish something. Are you talking about if the baby is still alive?
It can be both. If somebody
Okay, so
gets an infection while they're
if the baby's already dead,
hold on. If someone
Okay,
if someone gets an infection while they're pregnant and they go septic, whether the baby is alive or dead, they do not have the typically they don't have the strength or energy to go through a C-section or to go through a induction. So typically what they need to do is they need to kill the fetus first, the baby, whatever you want to call it, kill it first and then take it out, because they don't have the energy to go through the other way.
But taking it out would require a couple days of dilation.
Not all the time. There are emergency situations where you can do it like day of.
I don't believe that to be the case.
I mean,
especially if you're talking like later term, like 8 months, right?
You don't hold on. You don't.
How do you get the head out without dilation?
Yeah. You don't have to. Well, that would be if you're doing an induction.
Well, no. If you abort, you still have to remove the human body.
But if so, one of the ways that you can do this is by slice, and then the body parts are smaller, so you don't need to dilate as much.
Okay. Changing gears here. Why do you think that the unborn human being does not deserve the same right to life as born human beings?
Because I think non-sentient creatures don't have rights. Period. They're not sentient. Rights inherently are unspoken rules between sentient creatures about like how they engage with each other. So if you're not sentient,
that would disagree with what you said about the 24-week mark,
no,
right?
It's quite literally correct, like right in line with the 24-week mark. At 24 weeks is when humans tend to become sentient. So at that point, I would say the fetus has a right to live. And at that point, because I believe all sentient creatures have a right to live, so at that point, we would focus on non-life-threatening methods unless there is a medical reason in which we cannot do that. Then I would leave it up to the person whose body it is, right, to decide what they want to do because they're the initial rights holder.
How do you define sentience?
Subjective human experience.
Say that one more time.
Subjective human experience.
Okay, so if someone's unconscious in a coma,
they have sentience.
Should we be allowed to kill them?
They have sentience. Coma patients also have sentience. The only time that you lose sentience as a human is either A, permanent brain death, or B, going under anesthesia. But I would say because you're going under anesthesia under a consensual method, we can't just remove the consent of you going under anesthesia. And then I would say B, if somebody is unconsensually putting you under anesthesia, well, then they're just violating your rights because you didn't want to go under anesthesia in the first place. But yeah, the only time a permanent loss of sentience is going to be brain death. Coma patients can often recite conversations that were had in the room while they were under their coma and talk about dreams that they had while they were in their coma. These would indicate that there is a level of sentience. But typically I'll just put a cautionary principle and say that like we value sentience when it shows up and then we value it up until the permanent loss of it. If you want to just have a cautionary principle.
Have you ever seen any of the comparisons of abortion to, for example, slavery or the Holocaust?
Yep, and I would say all of those are stupid because slavery and the Holocaust happened to sentient people. Like I wouldn't give a fuck if we had a Holocaust of like
I want to
rocks,
challenge that.
Right?
Here's why I want to challenge that though, because what they're doing, right? When you look at like slavery or you look at the Holocaust and you compare them to abortion, they are examples of dehumanization and oppression in our society where you're drawing a box around certain human beings that have certain qualities and saying these human beings have a right to life and these human beings do not have these properties, therefore we can dehumanize them and we can oppress them. For example, in slavery, they're saying what's that?
We do this. We do this now. We do this with brain dead patients, right? We can legally pull the plug.
Yeah, but brain dead is different than
why is brain dead different?
An unborn human being in the womb.
Why?
Why?
Mm-hmm.
Because a brain dead person is not going to come back from that, whereas the unborn human being in the womb, if you let it take its natural course, will become a sentient human being.
Yes. So you're just valuing potential sentience. I don't value potential. I value what a thing currently is.
No. Hold on. I don't value potential sentience. I want to clarify my point. I'm an abolitionist of abortion. I believe that all human life should be treated equally and should have all the same rights. And my qualifier is that it is human life.
Uh-huh. So you believe we should not pull the plug on brain dead patients.
So you're adding another condition to this. You're saying must be human and have sentience.
Yeah. Do you believe that all brain dead patients should be left on life support indefinitely?
But you've just said brain dead, right? So we would agree that that person is dead.
What is
They're not coming back from that.
Wait. Their bodies are alive and they're still human. Your only qualifier was all human beings should have rights.
Sure.
Are you making another qualifier to this?
Sure. So a brain dead person, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they're on life support, I see no issue with turning off life support. That's an unnatural means of keeping that body alive. Versus a human being in the womb, it's not on life support. It's in the natural place for it to grow and develop.
Mm-hmm. So if a baby is born premature, we shouldn't put it in the ICU and put it on life support because that's an unnatural way to keep that baby alive.
No, I think we should do what we can.
Why?
Why
can't we? Why shouldn't we do that for the brain dead patient? The brain dead patient meets all of your qualifiers, which is just being human. That was your only qualifier. And the brain dead person, while their brain is dead, their body's still alive. It meets all your qualifiers. But what would be the difference here? What is the reason why, even though their body is alive and being being kept alive by external means, which is exactly what would happen to a baby in the NICU, right, who was born premature, their body is being kept alive by unnatural means. What would be the difference in qualifiers here?
Sure, if you want to keep brain dead people alive, then
I'm not asking about what I want to do. I'm asking your stance. If you're saying, right, we can pull the plug on brain dead people, there is something about brain dead people that is different than a fetus. What would that different thing be? I would say.
Qualifier that. What's that?
No, you can answer.
Well, that person's brain dead, as opposed to a living human being that is being intentionally killed. Actually, no. Here's the difference. Here's the difference. The difference is intent.
What does intent have to do with anything?
What do you mean? Intent is everything when it comes to murder.
Well, if I'm pulling the plug on someone and killing them, my intent was to kill them. So
no, the intent is to let the natural thing happen.
Oh, okay. So as long I can do the action, but as long as I do the action and that natural thing happens. So we can say if someone doesn't want to be pregnant anymore, they can just take the fetus out of their womb and let it die on a table because they didn't actually kill it. It just couldn't survive.
That would be intentional action.
What's the difference between that and pulling the plug on a brain dead person? It's the exact same. What's the symmetry? What's the symmetry breaker here?
You're interrupting the natural course of things.
What's the symmetry breaker here? I'm also interrupting the natural. What do you mean? There's no symmetry breaker here. These are the same. These analogies are the same. If somebody is brain dead and I take their body and pull the plug, I am letting their body naturally die because it cannot stay in its own life processes. If a fetus is taken out of the body prior to... Hold on. If the fetus is taken out of the body prior to viability and sat on a table, it will die because it cannot process the natural, or it cannot perform the natural bodily processes to maintain its own life. One is dying because it cannot maintain homeostasis. The other is dying because it cannot maintain homeostasis. So what is the symmetry breaker?
You're intentionally removing the unborn human being from the womb, which is the natural place for it to be. You're taking it out of the environment that it can survive in, the natural environment that it can survive in.
Okay, so then again, we shouldn't put babies in the NICU if they're born premature.
That'd be like saying, if I take a born human being and I put it in a swimming pool, right? A born, 1 month old human being, I put it in a swimming pool, and it's like, well, I'm just going to let the natural thing happen. Well, you put it in that situation where it can no longer survive.
Yeah, so again, that means we should not place babies into the NICU if your qualifier is its natural environment. So why does natural environment only matter prior to being in the womb? The NICU, and when we hook a baby up in the NICU, a premature baby who was taken out of its natural environment, we hook it up to an unnatural source to keep it alive. Why would we do that then?
Because do you agree with me that parents have an obligation to their children?
I think all humans have some level of societal obligation to all sentient humans have some level of societal obligation to all other sentient humans.
Changed up there. So you would agree with me that it is the right thing to do to put a baby in the NICU?
Yeah, I would say if the
and try to save
baby,
its life.
I would say that like if you want to keep the pregnancy, yeah, what you ought to do is help the baby. But that doesn't really matter when if we're just now talking about someone's subjective value on something. What I was asking you is to tell me the symmetry breaker between these two analogous things. So like if that's something you can't do, I can answer it for you and tell you why we allow a brain dead patient to die. It's because we know that without the sentient thought, the person is already dead. A brain dead person is just a body. Without the sentience, there is no person there. We don't grant brain dead patients personhood anymore. So we pull the plug and we let them die.
Your qualifier for life is personhood.
Well, my qualifier for life is sentience. Well, for sentient life is
or for valuing life as personhood.
Yes, my qualifier for valuing life is personhood. Yes.
Okay.
And I would qualify personhood by sentience.
Okay. So, would you agree with me in the definition of murder being the unjust, premeditated killing of an innocent human being?
Sure.
Okay.
I would say innocent person. I would say innocent persons because, like, I don't care if somebody.
You wouldn't say human being.
No, because again, if I have somebody who's brain dead and you walk into the hospital and stab that person in the heart, you still effectively killed them. I'm not going to put you in jail for that. You didn't do anything. You didn't cause any harm by stabbing a brain dead person, right? So I wouldn't say human being because there are qualifiers. I would say person, right?
Interesting.
I also don't know that I would say premeditated either. Because like if I just shoot somebody
Well,
because they pissed me off.
Okay.
But yeah.
Well, there's the differences between manslaughter and first degree and second degree murder. Yeah. Premeditated would be murder in the first degree, I believe, right?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Versus second degree, yeah. Interesting. Yeah, it's just going back to the analogy of slavery, it's a similar situation where this qualifier of personhood, right? What makes someone a person? So the same arguments were made during slavery of saying, well, you know, if we're talking like 200 years ago in America, well, you know, you're black, therefore we can enslave you because you do not have the qualifiers to be a free person.
Sure.
And the same things happened during the Holocaust where they would classify Jewish people differently than non-Jews and say, okay, you're Jews, therefore we can dehumanize you. And
yeah, the difference is all of these people had sentience. Every single one of them had sentience, right? But let me ask you.
But do you not see that you're doing the same thing by adding this qualifier of sentience?
I'm actually not, right? We have to have a moment in time, in development, where a person becomes a person. They don't just start as a person, right? You can be a human being any point that you want, but you're not just always a person, right? I was not always a person. I will not always be a person, right? My dead body, where all my bodily functions are done, is still a human being. That dead body is still a human, but it's not a person anymore, right? Like, for example, let me give you
as I said before, my qualifier is living human being.
Hold on, let me give you a hypothetical. Just roll with this hypothetical real quick. Let's say Superman is real. Superman's real. He's chilling. He's on Earth chilling. Superman doesn't meet your qualifiers for the right to life.
Okay.
You think that means we have the right to like kill Superman? Because he doesn't have a right to life?
I mean, this is a silly hypothetical, right?
Is it?
Because Superman's not real. But if you wanted to put it to like a real thing, like a pig, right? Like a pig is not a living human being. Yes, it's living, and it actually has more sentience at 3 years old than a born human being. But
yeah, I think veganism is the morally correct.
So wait, but hold on. But why is sentience your qualifier? If a 3-year-old pig has more sentience than a 1-day-old human being, why are we allowed to kill pigs?
I don't care. Wait, hold on. I don't care about whether or not something is more sentient. I just care that it has it. And personally, I think probably veganism is morally correct and is the morally justifiable position. And like legally, we probably should have laws against like the slaughter of animals. Yeah, it kind of seems intuitive.
Okay, so you think we shouldn't kill anything that's sentient?
I think there will be justified reasons to kill anything. But like, I think unjustifiably, we shouldn't just kill sentient beings, no. But you can always find a justified reason to kill something. Like if I was on an island, right? If I was vegan and I was on an island where there were like warthogs, right? I would say it's justifiable for me to kill for survival. I would say that's a justifiable reason to kill these sentient creatures.
So if you're on an island with another human being, you think it would be justifiable for you to kill that human being to eat that human being?
If there's no other way to survive, yes.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't punish that group of people who crashed their plane in the fucking where was it? What mountain range was it? Who crashed their plane and like ate their sports team members. We didn't punish them when they got back because it was justifiable. They had no other way of survival. I try to do literally everything else up until then, but if there is quite literally no other way to survive, then it's me versus them at that point. One of us is going to die anyway first. So it might not even be that I have to kill him. Like it might just be that I wait for one of us to die first and the first person to go is the first person to go. But I have a lot of fat on me, so I would probably survive a little bit longer. So that person's probably going to come for me.
So you agree with me that slavery is dehumanizing and oppressing?
Because it's violating a sentient person's right to bodily autonomy. That's why I would say slavery is wrong.
Okay.
Non-sentient bodies don't have a right to bodily autonomy.
But you don't see the fact that you're putting this qualifier of sentience next to human life. You're saying it needs to be human plus some category. So, for example,
non-sentient bodies don't have a
slavery
right
was
to
human plus not being black. During the Holocaust was human plus not being Jewish.
Black and Jewish
now you're putting the qualifier of human plus.
Wait.
Being
Just
sentient.
let me explain this again. When we look at why something is bad to do to another human, we look at it on a harm principle, right? So we're going to look at, does this action cause harm? And harm in the philosophical worldview is going to be negative experience. So does this action cause an unjustifiable negative experience to a person? Well, people without sentience cannot have experiences. So you cannot cause an unjustifiable negative experience. Yeah, I don't care about what they will. We're talking about what they have right now. Again, that would be a potential argument. That's saying I should treat something like what it will be.
This same situation. Hold on. What you're arguing for here? The same situation could be applied to the unconscious person in the hospital.
No, it can't. So unconscious people are sentient.
If there's someone that's unconscious can't
people
feel anything, won't remember it, is it okay for you?
Unconscious people still are sentient. And this is why I said I said 10 minutes ago, I said 10 minutes ago, we can put a precautionary principle on it and say at the start of your sentient experience, which happens around 22 to 24 weeks, we grant you the right to life until the permanent loss of said sentient experience. But unconscious people are still sentient. That's part of dreaming is you're engaging in sentient thought.
Sure. But here's my, I entertained your hypothetical. I want you to entertain mine.
Sure.
So, if you have someone who's unconscious, will not remember anything, will not feel anything, will not even know that it happened, is it okay for you to rape that person?
No, because they are still
kill
sentient.
That person?
No, they are still
we'll go
sentient.
With rape. We'll go with rape.
They are still sentient, so it would still be wrong to do this. Consciousness and sentience are not the same thing.
But there's no harm being done.
There is still harm being done.
How? How is there harm being done according to your definition of harm?
How is there harm being done? Because they're still having an adverse experience happening on them. What do you mean? Just because you can't remember, just because you can't remember an adverse experience doesn't mean that adverse experience didn't happen, right? But you are still sentient.
Your definition of harm.
Yep. Would be a negative experience, and people who are unconscious still experience.
But they're not experiencing it.
Yes, they are. People who are conscious still experience. Yes, they do. Consciousness is not the loss of sentience. Unconsciousness is not the loss of sentience. That's not what it is.
But in this hypothetical that we're talking about here, this person is unconscious, won't know that this has happened to them, won't hear anything, won't feel anything. If you don't tell them that it happened, they won't know.
Doesn't matter. It still happened. And it still happened to a creature that can experience. Part of you know that even if you're asleep, if someone pinches you, your body still has the effect of being hurt. Just because you're asleep and you don't remember being pinched doesn't mean your body still wasn't hurt.
Sure, you could fill this person with painkillers. You can. I'm just.
Wait. That still doesn't defeat what I'm saying. Your brain, even in an unconscious state, is still aware of the things that are happening outside of it. That's why noises wake you up. Because your brain is still functioning on the world around you. That's why if you're asleep and you fall out of your bed, you will wake up because the experiences around you woke up your unconscious mind. Consciousness and sentience are not the same thing. And being unconscious does not equal being unsentient.
I agree with you on that last statement, but I think that you're not engaging with my hypothetical.
I am engaged. Well, first of all, your hypothetical is illogical to begin with. It doesn't meet the parameters, right, you're trying to use a hypothetical to test my logic, but it doesn't meet the parameters of the logic that I've set up. This would be like if you were telling me this.
You had talked about harm, right?
Uh-huh.
So what harm is being done to someone who can't feel, won't know that this thing happened to them?
Their body is still going to react negatively because their brain is still experiencing the world around it. So like when that person is getting raped, because I don't know why that's the one you wanted to go into, but when that person is getting raped, they're still going to feel pain because it is unlubricated for sex. So their body is still going to react and send pain signals to the brain. Even if they aren't awake, those signals are still happening. They are still experiencing the world around them.
Let's go to a similar situation then. If it's a peeping Tom, right? Person's completely unaware that they're being peeped at, and is that situation wrong?
Yeah, but not because they're like violating some like autonomy thing. It's just because we value privacy. So it would be a breach of privacy.
Breach of privacy?
Yeah. You
would classify that as harm?
A breach of privacy as harm? Probably, even if you're not conscious of the harm being done. I'd say it's probably still, I'd say it's also more like a societal harm that's being done, which I would say is a little bit different from like a like personal, like an interpersonal harm. But yeah, you're a breach of privacy. Do you think things can only be harmful if you know that they're happening?
No. I'm a Christian. I'm a Catholic. I believe that there's good and evil, and that there's an objective standard to good and evil. So it's interesting to hear the way that you're defining these categories, because I don't believe that from an atheistic worldview that you can have an objective standard of morality. I think that subjective standards of morality exist, but they are just subjective. Like, for example,
just
like,
really quickly, as
you and I could disagree on something, and it could just be pitiless indifference, right? There's no objective standard to saying who's right and who's wrong.
Yeah, your morality would also be subjective.
Sure, but there is in the Christian worldview, if we posit that God exists, then there is an objective standard of morality.
No, that would still be subjective.
No, because God's morality would be objective.
No,
it's an objective standard for us to.
No, God would be the subject.
Hereby.
God would now become the subject. Right.
What's
something when we say something is subjective, like morality is subjective, we're saying that it's mind dependent,
yes.
right? Or like it's dependent on a mind of some kind. Your morality would be dependent on the mind of God. So it is still mind dependent, therefore it is still subjective. Objective would mean it's mind independent, which morality from God would not be mind independent. It's still dependent.
Sure, but God's morality would be the determining factor for what is good and what is
why it's still subjective. It's just because God says so. Like, why does that make something good or evil?
Sure, yeah. If God is the creator of the universe, yes, of course.
Can God be wrong? Or let me ask you a question. Can God do evil things?
Well, I saw that on your list here, right? So I would say no.
Okay, so if God, like, let's say God comes down from the heavens, you see him, he's truly God, there's no question here, and God tells you to kill your child, you wouldn't think that was an evil?
Yeah, I heard you talking about this earlier, and unfortunately that quote unquote 19-year-old you were speaking with, so you brought up Abraham and Isaac, right?
Uh-huh.
So what happened in that story?
God told Abraham to kill his child, and Abraham went
And
to
then
do
what?
it.
And then what happened?
God stopped him.
Yes, and provided a sacrifice for Abraham to sacrifice.
Did Abraham still go to do it?
Yeah.
So
course.
you would go to do it hoping God would stop you.
What's that? I would go to do it.
Is there anyone in the Bible besides Abraham that God did have kill their children?
Trying to think. That God had killed their own children?
Yep.
I mean, David went to war with Absalom, right? He didn't want Absalom to die. And I don't think it was commanded by God for him to die. Are there any examples you can think of?
Yeah, Jephthah. Judges 11:30-40. Jephthah says, "Hey God, if you allow me to win this battle, I will sacrifice the very first thing that I see."
That the person who comes out of his house, yes, and then he was
God
obligated
helped
to
him
do
win the
so with
battle.
his daughter.
Yep, and then he kills his kid. Right?
Yeah.
I would say like the plagues. God killed a bunch. So like this idea that God would have you do it, but even cutting out if he stops you or not, isn't it? Don't you think it'd be a little fucked up still to like throw a knife down at your child, even if you assume God might stop you? Might being the operative word.
Well, God being the arbiter of good. I mean,
so it is good to attempt to kill your child.
He made a covenant with God. Covenants can't be broken.
Wait, I just want to confirm. It is a moral good to attempt to kill your child if God asks you to.
Well, I would question. I would question how that ask is being
you would
made,
question
right?
God,
and is the person asking you God?
Wait, you would question God?
Well, there are those that have, and in certain situations, it goes certain ways, right? So, like, for example, you could see a parallel. You could see a parallel between Mary and Zechariah, right? So, in both situations, and
Romans 9:20. But who are you, O man, to answer back to God? Will what is molded? Yeah, Romans 9:20. But who are you, O man, to answer back to God? God quite literally says you cannot question him.
Sure, yeah, and we see what happens, right? This is the point I'm making. So, like, for example, when Mary is told that she's going to be pregnant, she asks, "How can this be?" And she asks, "How can this be?" Not questioning the decision of it happening, but questioning, like, actually, how can this be? Because she did not know man, right? She hadn't had relations. But when Zechariah is told that he's going to have a son, he questions God in the other sense that you're seeing in Romans. And what happens is he's unable to speak. He gets punished and he's unable to speak for, I think, until his son is born and he names him.
Yeah, that's just real quick. That's not questioning God. That's questioning the situation. When God is legitimately questioned, he gets pissed. But I just wanted to confirm about that. Someone did pay to move on, so goodbye. Have a good one. Yo. Big dubs. Big dubs to sheep. Sexual education and education on their own body has been shown to reduce rape. Agreed. Dubs to the Pale Horse. Thank you for the super chat. Think Vids. Thank you for the super chat. Rain. Thank you for the super chat. Also to Snakery. Thank you for the super chat. Props for acknowledging the vegan positions. Hasn't been otherwise morally consistent. People reserve sentience person for humans only. Yeah, like I still eat meat, but I recognize that veganism is probably the way to go, right? Probably the way to go. Oh, and thank you, Cynical. Thank you, Cynical, as well for the Cash App. Guys, we are 20 away from a Cash App or Venmo to a t-shirt giveaway. 20 away from a t-shirt giveaway. Don't y'all want to win a free t-shirt? Mr. Pipe Dream, thank you so much for the gifted subs over on Twitch. Let me show you guys the t-shirt real quick. Look, 20 away from the giveaway for a t-shirt. We'll be doing the t-shirt giveaway live on air, chat. Live on air. You can win this t-shirt today. All 20 to the Cash App or Venmo snakes the giveaway. We're so close. Oh, I also do count, I count PayPal as well. When we're doing the giveaway stuff, I count whatever, like, I get, like, can get day of. The YouTube super chats I don't get for like 2 months. So I can't count those because of the half of the goal money is used to fund the free t-shirt. Well, not half, but you know. Flying Leech, thank you for the Venmo. Thank you so much, Flying Leech. W Flying Leech, everybody. Can we get dubs from Flying Leech in the chat, squad? Dubs for Flying Leech in the chat, squad. I actually think we're at 190 now. Actually, we're at 190. Yeah. We're at 190 now, squad. $10 wins us a t-shirt. Could you please set up some other way than direct phone number to debate on, e.g. Discord? Maybe. So if y'all want to win the t-shirt, I'm going to go, because I think we are going to hit it. I'm going to go get it set up that we can do the giveaway. There it is, $10 from Josh. Josh, $10. Thank you, bud. That means we hit our t-shirt giveaway goal, baby. We're going to do the t-shirt giveaway before we continue moving on with the stream. So if you want to win a t-shirt, you have to get over to Twitch. Twitch is how we do it. I run giveaways through a giveaway widget. So you got to get over to Twitch right now, guys, if you want to win a t-shirt. If you want to win a t-shirt. You know, where's my, did they get rid of the giveaway thing on Streamlabs? No, they wouldn't have done that. They wouldn't have done that. What is it called? Not a giveaway. It's called something else. It's called raffle. Yeah. Where's raffles? What? Did Streamlabs get rid of the ability to do raffles? I mean, I can figure out another way to do it. Just, I've always done it on Streamlabs. Oh, here it is. Yeah, here it is. It's in CloudBot. Giveaway. Here we go. All right, let me get this set up. You got until I have it set up to get over to Twitch and get ready. So we're going to do a giveaway. This is going to be for merch. This is going to be for a Here to Debate t-shirt. Does come up to size 5X. This is Twitch exclusive. We can only do the raffles on Twitch. So get thee to the Twitch. Oh, Cameron, thank you so much for the Cash App friend for Love You Bitches. So funny. We're going to do 5 minutes for the raffle, 5 minutes to enter. So how many is 5 minutes to seconds? That's going to be 300 seconds. I should have known that. Okay, when I hit the start on this, okay? When I hit the start on this, where the hell did that go? Where did it go? Oh, is that this one? Oh, yeah. No. This one will work, though. What? Okay, custom. Let me just do a custom. I don't know where. Custom. Oh, here it is. Here to Debate t-shirt, 300 seconds. Prizes, a Here to Debate t-shirt. Now, if you win, what's going to happen is I'm going to send you over on Twitch. I'm going to send you a whisper. So if you win, you're going to get a whisper on Twitch from me. Okay? So you're going to get a whisper with your link to the prize. Like, it'll be a link. You go to the link and you can literally put in your order and it will be ready to ship for you. Let me get that set up. Giveaway links. Select product. Here to Debate shirt. 1. Save.
Okay. When this starts, you are going to have to, well, let me start it first and I'll tell you what you have to do. Okay. What? Huh? Yeah, thank you guys for the subs. Where did it go? Do I even still have Streamlabs as a mod in the chat? I think so. But where did my... Huh? Siri, shut up. Oh, Siri. Alexa, shut up. Now, why isn't... Sorry, hold on, guys. It's like not doing this properly. I'll still get this to work, don't worry. Let me just try it and we'll see what happens. Edit this to... confirm. Oh, yeah, it's giving me an error. Why? That might have been why. Now let me try it. Wait, what? Activate CloudBot. Refresh. Sorry, I'm gonna get this down, guys. And if we lose people on the YouTube, I'll just like reset the YouTube for debates. If we like lose. Okay. Let me make sure hashtag mod Streamlabs. Streamlabs is already moderator. Okay, beautiful. That's what I thought. Why are you being an asshole? Edit. T-shirt. Giveaway. Time duration. Value in minutes 5. Prize. Here to debate. Unisex t-shirt. Confirm. There we go. Okay. Now I got it. We are starting in 3, 2, 1. You got 5 minutes. 5 minutes. You have to type !raffle, right? Isn't that what it wants you to do? Or is it !enter? Yeah, !raffle. !raffle enters you in over on Twitch. These are Twitch exclusive benefits. Twitch exclusive benefits. !raffle over on Twitch. You got 5 minutes. And then the winner will get a whisper from me with the link to the prize, which again, that prize is a Here to Debate t-shirt, which if you don't win, you can also purchase on joevonbradley.com. You can purchase it over on joevonbradley.com. So come on over to Twitch, get you, and make it work. Alexander Anathema, thanks so much for becoming a tier 3 member. Shout out to you over on the YouTube chat. !raffle, everybody. We have 152 entries. There's 420 of you here. That's not a lot of entries for the amount of people that are here. You can type !raffle again, and it will tell you if your thing went through. So if you're unsure, it'll at you if you do it again to make sure that it went through. It'll tell you if you received a ticket. You'll get an at. Here we go. Here we go. We haven't done a giveaway in forever. And it will be the same thing. I'm not getting off just yet. So it'll be the same thing. We'll just add a stretch goal and we'll do another t-shirt giveaway if we hit the stretch goal. So. Ooh. Here we go with the raffles. Oh my God. Only 170 of you entered with 3 minutes left. Woo, baby. You're not getting off. What are we here for then? What do you mean? I'm not getting off till like 3:30. And then I gotta go get my tires replaced at Walmart. I got to add Cameron's to the list. So we're actually at 220. Also, thank you guys for following. We're at 2 minutes and 30 seconds, 174 entries. I feel like there's more of you here than that. So if you aren't sure if you got your ticket, exclamation point raffle in the Twitch chat to see. We're going to take calls once we're done with the giveaway. Exclamation point raffles in the Twitch chat just to be sure. It should tell you if you already have a ticket. Or you can, well, don't ask me because I have a long list in front of me and I don't know how to. If it doesn't, don't put a space, just exclamation point raffle, nothing else after it. And try doing no capitals, no capitals. No capitals. It should at you if you received a ticket. We got almost 200 entries and 1 minute and 30 seconds left. So keep it going. I'm going to copy the link here so I can find whoever wins and get them their prize. And if the person doesn't redeem their prize, you know, well, Sedalius, you're not getting an at. You're here. I already got you. You're there. We have 189 people entered. 1 minute left. Who's gonna win? I can't check everybody. Vanguard, you're in. Sersha, you're in. Tropical, you're in. Natalie, you're in. I can't check all of you. Def, you're in. Just assume you're in, guys, because like quite literally everybody I check is in. Mokala, you're in. Like all of you are in. 15 seconds. Shadow Wolf, you're in. You guys are in. Nothingness, you're in. That's it. You can no longer enter the raffle. So if you didn't make it in time, I apologize. Okay. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Everybody stop. Because now comes the time to pick a winner. So I need you all to stop. I need you all to stop. Okay. We are going to pick a winner. It might have paused the amount of people that can follow me because a bunch of you did. So it might have paused it. So we're going to pick a winner. Everybody get ready. Drum roll, please. Our winner is Vapid666. Are you here? Vapid666. I need to see. You have 3 minutes to send a message in the chat so I know that you're here. Vapid, congratulations, friend. You just won the Here to Debate t-shirt. I'm just trying to pull up and send a whisper to you. It doesn't seem to be working, so let me go to Twitch. Congratulations, Vapid. Everybody say W to Vapid666. Vapid, do me a favor, keep typing in the chat so I see your name in the chat. I got to see your name in the chat so I can click on it. There you are. Did you say rigged to winning? Oh, no, that wasn't you. You just said okie dokie. Gotcha. Send a whisper. There you go, Vapid. Go and claim your prize, my friend. If you also want the shirt, an easy way to get that is go to jovanbradley.com and you too can grab a Here to Debate t-shirt. Or if we hit the next goal before I'm done in an hour, you can also get it that way. I'll do one more raffle if we can hit our goal. Congratulations, Vapid. Let me know that link works and you're able to grab your prize. you can just send a whisper back to me. Just let me know if that works, and you're able to grab your prize. This shirt design, by the way, was done. I'm gonna drop his name. This was Majestic Park _design on Instagram. Just sent me this design and was like, "Oh, here you go for your merch store," and it's sick as fuck. So shout out to you, friend, if you're watching. Considering you just messaged me on Instagram, I don't know that you're actually watching. All right, we're gonna continue now. Obviously, if we hit our goal again, I will. Oh, there he goes. Great job, Vapid. Woo! Now, if we hit our next goal, every time we hit our live goal, our live tip goal, which is Cash App, Venmo, or PayPal, maybe next month I'll start doing the YouTube stuff as well. But if we hit our goal, I'll do t-shirt giveaways whenever we hit our goal. So I have no problem doing that. That'll just be a thing for now, for all time. Anytime we hit our goal, we do a t-shirt giveaway. I'm going to not open. I'm going to get us back into it. We're going to open the call-in lines. Yes, open. That's what I meant. We're going to open the call-in lines, and we are going to go back into debate. So if you are still here to debate, then yeah, here we go. Hello? Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, I am.
All right. What's your name, age, or pronouns?
Seth, 23, he, him.
Seth, 23, he, him. Okay, Seth, what topic did you want to debate about?
I'm pretty much agree with everything 1 through 5. I just wanted to debate about number 6.
Okay, Christian God is evil. Sure thing. Yeah, he's definitely evil. Yeah.
Well, I personally, I believe that, like, I want to go into, like, what you believe the Christian God is. Like, do you think it's like what is your opinion on that?
What do you mean by what I believe he is? I don't believe he exists, but if he does exist, if he exists in the way, here, I'll give you a pretty simple rundown. If the Christian God exists in the way that he is depicted in the Bible, he's evil. If the Bible is made up and not true, then I wouldn't know if he's evil or not. But if he exists as he does in the Bible and committed the actions he does in the Bible, then he's evil.
See, I'm not sure if there's 100% a debate here, because I agree that the Christian faith itself is evil. I grew up Christian. I was raised since I was born to be Christian, and I always never sat right with me, like, growing up, like that. It just, like, what they taught, just the fact that we're taught actual myths before actual history, it never sat right with me. Just how they depicted God in the Bible, it never made sense. And I understand where you're coming from, why you would think he's evil. But from my standpoint, I feel like the Christian faith itself is evil, because there is something that I believe in. I don't even know if it is the Christian God, but I believe that, like, this is personal testimony. So, it's probably not really, like, it's factual to me, but I've been praying for the past 2 years for a better life, because I've been, like, struggling, and everything I have prayed for has happened for me, even down to, like, small things in the moment, where if I'm having anxiety or getting home from work, I'll pray for, like, just quick healing, and I'll feel better. And it's like, but I don't agree with Christianity. Like, I feel like this force or whatever it is that I believe in, they took it, and Christianity was created to control people, like, basically, if that makes sense.
All right. Well, we would have nothing to contest about, because my board is specifically the God of the Christian Bible specifically.
Well, I believe in that same, but like God. Sorry about that. Like,
but you
like,
don't really, because the Christian God would be slightly different from the God
choose
you
to
believe in.
that this force is that came down with Jesus, like came down as a man and died again and brought back Jesus back to life.
Sure, I'm just saying that, like, when we're looking at the God of the Bible, you do not believe that the stories in the Bible are like true, so we wouldn't have anything to debate about.
Well, I mean, I do believe in them. I just believe that the Christian faith itself is not a, like, I guess you're right, because I believe in them. I believe Noah's Ark happened, the Great Flood. I believe what you were debating about earlier with Abraham. I believe they actually happened.
Well, I'll just tell you, if the story of Abraham happened, then God is definitely evil.
And that's the thing with that, is I watched a video the other day about a guy talking about this, saying that the Abraham was supposed to say no. That's why God stopped him.
Abraham was supposed to say no, and God's like Abraham failed God's test. Listen, if that was the story the Bible taught, and it was God was well, I would still say it would be stupid for an all-knowing God to test anybody. But like, yeah, if the story is God wanted Abraham to stop and then Abraham didn't, God was like, "Yo, hold up, bro. What the fuck are you doing?" That's a little different, right?
Well, yeah, it's yeah, I guess we don't have a debate here. I am a fan of your videos, so I hope you guys get something good going on.
All right, well, you have a good one.
You too.
Yo, I just noticed that Patrick is in the chat. What's up, friend? Pineapple on pizza, yuck. I'm gonna do this for you, dog. For the sick ass designs. Here is a gifted sub to the channel for the dope ass designs. All right, let's open the call line again. We have until 3:30, and remember, we will do more T-shirt giveaways if we hit that the second gift goal. I do not mind doing more giveaways at all. Hello, are you here to debate?
Yes, I am.
All right, what's your name, age, or pronouns?
Austin, 36, and you should be able to figure out what pronouns to use for that.
I have no idea. You kind of sound like a she/her.
Okay, sounds good. Well, you go with whatever your intelligence leads you to do.
Okay, so she/her, no problem. Queen, you're a little hard to hear. Can you talk? Are you like on a headset or something?
Yeah, sorry. Let me switch over. Is this better?
Yep.
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm new to your channel. I think it's cool when people talk about stuff and everything. So I just wanted to call in and maybe discuss one of the things on your list.
Okay. What do you disagree? What do you disagree with?
I disagree with all of them, but I think I'd be most comfortable talking about maybe like 1, 2, 3. Let's talk about 3. MAGA is a cult.
Sure.
Can you just give me, since I haven't watched a ton, I watched you a little yesterday, can you give me a rundown on like what you consider a cult?
Yeah, I believe a cult would be, specifically this would be like a cult of personality. I believe a cult would be a group that like religiously follows a specific figure or ideal uncritically. So they don't ever critically think about what this figure or ideal is. They typically refuse to engage in criticism of said person or ideal. And even when presented with new information, their minds stay locked into these ideals. And I believe MAGA to meet all of those.
Okay. The reasoning's fair enough. It's funny because I would say the exact same thing about the left. As far as being a cult.
Yeah, who's the person that the left is following?
that's the problem. Right now, you guys don't typically have like a main person that everyone looks at and follows or anything, but that doesn't mean that the whole broad, there's someone up there calling the shots, I believe, or a group of people. But on the left, it's like there's a reason people say the left eats itself. It's like once you do one thing that's not in lockstep with the left, you're just totally canceled, ostracized, demonized.
Yeah, here's the thing. Here's the thing I'm going to say. I don't think the left has an issue with cancel culture. I think the difference is the left is more willing to call out problematic behavior, where the right just doesn't really give a shit, right? So we typically see the left calling out these behaviors, and we see the right just letting them exist within their people.
I would totally disagree. The
can you
left
give me examples?
cancels each other. The left cancels each other all the time. Whether it's
sure. Do you think the people that are canceled deserve to be canceled? Also, I don't believe canceling is possible on the internet. Nobody's ever truly canceled. But can you give me an example of somebody that's been like ostracized from the left without having due cause?
Right off the top of my head, I can't come up with a certain name. But if you could just let me get a full thought out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yep, to me, it's like the left, whether it's, you can't be a part of the left and disagree with, like, not want to fund Ukraine. All that, you'd have everybody just talking crap about you, calling you a Russian Putin supporter, whatever. You're not able to disagree with that. We're on the right, or you could say MAGA, or whatever you want to say. We have those conversations all the time, and people don't agree with each other, and we're able to have those discussions without calling each other Nazis and all. I'm sorry if you're not supposed to say that.
Well, yeah, my response to this would just be like, when it comes to someone saying, well, we shouldn't fund Ukraine, I would just ask them why. And if their reason is because like Russia good, then we would have an issue. Or if their reason is because they just don't give a fuck, then we would have an issue, right? I think it's a different thing if it's, you know. So I don't really think you're basing that in like reality.
No, that's definite reality, where the right is able to have conversations and disagreements, whether it's about foreign policy, whether it's about where our tax money goes, education system, all that. We have these conversations within our circle all the time. It's, we are about discussing things and figuring things out and looking deeper for information, where the left, it's highly emotional. And a lot of times you guys don't even know.
Can you tell me what specific, like, can you give me an example of an argument that the right specifically has their information and facts on and the left is just going based on emotion?
Specific, I'm so sorry. I never debate or anything, so it's hard for me this is my first time. It would be,
because before you go in, I'm just gonna let you know, I've been debating people on the right for 5+ years, and I have yet to see.
That's fair enough. I'm not gonna say that. I mean, when I watch it, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's just ridiculous to sit here and think that a man that cuts off his genitals is all of a sudden a real woman, and then you're going to sit here and act like the left has the facts.
Hold on. I don't think a man who cuts off his genitals is a woman. This would be you arguing from emotion, because that's not even how like trans issues go.
One of your first points, trans men / women are men and women.
Yes, that's not a
what
point.
You're saying.
Yeah, that point isn't made because I believe that cutting off your penis makes you a woman. That point is made because I've very cohesively studied sociology, psychology, neuroscience, and biology. And when we look at these topics and the evolution of gender and sex studies, it's very clear that like gender identity exists, and that gender identity can be different from the sex you were born at birth. That's why I believe that. Not feelings based, but research based.
But what happens when someone on the left says, no, man, that's ridiculous. It's a mental disorder, which it is.
It's not.
And well, it is. It's definitely, and it's still categorized as a mental disorder.
It isn't. Do you want me to?
It's
not. No. So let me just explain to you. So hold on. What we're doing right now is we're exemplifying the issue. You're making a claim based on how you feel, and I'm about to show you the claim based on the actual research. So being trans, which would be having a gender incongruency,
right? According to the American Psychological Association, which is the people who write the book on mental illnesses, have said multiple times that having a gender incongruency is not linked to any known mental illness whatsoever. Now, having gender dysphoria, which is a diagnosable condition, gender dysphoria, which is the extreme stress from your gender identity not aligning with your phenotypic sex that your body presents itself, this is a disorder, but this can be had by both trans and cisgender people.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't think that still biologically or anything would say, okay, this person isn't stressed out about being a man who wants to be a woman, but he's okay with it. So that makes him a woman. And that's what you're saying. You're saying, one, they're upset or mentally, you know, they can't come to terms with it.
This
so
has nothing to do with what that has nothing to, hold on. That has nothing to do with the conversation that we just had. What causes gender dysphoria is an immense amount of stress caused by
and that's what I'm saying.
Hold on. It's caused by the phenotypic representation of your sex. So that would be your physical features not aligning with your gender identity. Cisgender people, so people like me who are a man but also male, can experience this because what happens is, for instance, if I have a man with gynecomastia who has really large breasts, right, they will feel less manly and get breast reductions. This is them receiving gender affirming care. They're receiving care to alleviate a form of distress they have by their physical representation of their body not aligning with their gender identity.
Okay, so if you're, I don't know the terms for it, but if you're the person that doesn't believe that their left arm is actually their left arm, it's like a ghost arm. I don't know the term, but it exists. You think that you should be able to just cut your arm off and...
So body identity integrity disorder, which is, I won't say is an equivalent comparison to gender dysphoria. One of the treatments for bodily integrity identity disorder, when it is severe enough, is to amputate the limb. Yes. Because if not amputated, that person will cause self-harm and or kill themselves. So typically,
you're telling me there's a doctor out there that will
Yes.
amputate your leg because you
Yes.
don't think it's your leg.
If the condition is severe enough to lead to self-harm, mutilation, or death, yes, they will.
I'm going to have to look into that. I highly don't believe it. But I
You
guess,
didn't even know what the disorder was called.
Well, yeah, like I said, I don't debate. I'm really not good with my vocabulary when I'm on the spot, and I'll be 100% honest with that. It's not about like having logic and reasoning.
Well, it should be,
where
right?
it is about logic and reasoning, not just like being able to come up with all these terms. But I'm not sitting here debating all day. I just think it's to me, it's wild that people on the left and yourself can sit here and call people on the right a cult when we're open to discussions and having discussions about things. And on the left, you guys literally just ostracize people, shame people, and you can say that the left doesn't cancel, but you guys do cancel. The cancel culture is pretty much dying out because the right.
Wait. The right decided to cancel Nike. Or I'm sorry, the right decided to cancel Bud Light because they gave a beer can, one singular beer can, with one face of one transgender woman on it to said transgender woman.
Yep.
The right then decided, we're canceling Bud Light. They decided to burn their Nike shoes when Nike was supporting BLM. Let's not have this conversation about left versus right and cancel culture, because the right does it all the time. They do it constantly.
Honestly, the boycott on Bud Light, that was one of the first successful boycotts by the right.
Except it wasn't. Bud Light isn't suffering. Bud Light still exists and they're still profiting.
That's That's not cancel culture.
That
Cancel
is. What do you
culture is when
mean?
you demonize someone and try and convince everyone else that they're a bad person. All of a
That's
sudden,
what you guys did with
people
Nike.
won't accept.
I'm sorry, with Bud Light. That's what you guys did with
PayPal,
Bud Light.
Visa, the banks stop working with them, so they can't get paid. You know, that just boycotting
If
a company
somebody,
and saying,
let me ask
hey,
you a question. Let me ask you a
what's
question.
up?
If someone goes on live TV and says, I
Okay.
hate, or let me actually rephrase it differently. If someone goes into like a playground and takes a small child, let's say there's a small black child in that playground, and they look at that small black child who, let's even add a qualifier. Let's say this is a small disabled black child, and they call that black child the N-word over and over and over again. What should happen to that person?
We're talking about the situation that just happened. There's no proof the kid was autistic anyways. It was just something the guy on the camera said. Do I believe that the girl should have said that? No. No, I don't think she should have said it. But that is a long time coming. The dude with the camera
That's a long time coming.
is literally trying
That's a long
to
time
cancel
coming.
her.
Did she get canceled or did she get $1 million?
The dude was trying to cancel her.
Did she
was
get
attempting to-
canceled or did she get $1 million?
I'm telling you right now, the dude was trying to cancel her.
But did she? You said cancel culture
but-
exists, that it's something that happens. She didn't get canceled.
But-
She got almost $1 million for telling, even if you think that child is not autistic, this woman got $1 million after calling a 5-year-old black kid the N-word.
Yes, she sure did. And can I continue so you can get my whole frame of thought? Like I said, she should not have said that to him. It's a grown adult. Fix your emotions. Yeah, he was digging through your purse, whatever. Doesn't matter. Shouldn't have called him that. But the reason that she made so much money is because people are so sick of all this, white guilt and hatred towards the white people, and always having to bow down to everything going on. The Black Lives Matter. You
Do
got
you think
burned down the
black
streets
people
for years?
I'm sorry. Do you think black people shouldn't be mad at white people who use the N-word?
I think you need to get over it. I think if you're that sensitive, that you're gonna freaking, like, honestly, get over it.
We need to get over the N-word.
Yeah, I think you need to get over the N-word. It's not right. It's not nice to call anybody names. But to sit there and use that as just an excuse for everything all the time. Do you realize how many?
Whoa. We're not using that as an excuse for everything. We're using that about a woman
100%.
who called a black child the N-word. Did she do it? Yes
Black
or no?
people called black. Yeah, she sure did.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not the point. The point is, people are tired of being demonized for being white.
For saying the N-word? Was she demonized for being white, or was she demonized for using the N-word on a 5-year-old?
Someone sticking their phone in her face, threatening to cancel her on the internet. People are sick of that shit. And also,
she called the 5-year-old an N-word.
Everyone's got, it's all over. People have, what are they calling it? Freaking black fatigue. Black fatigue.
Black fatigue
People
doesn't
are
exist.
Sick of what's that?
Black fatigue doesn't exist. It's just white people being racist.
See, that's another thing. It's so easy for you to say. What do you mean black fatigue doesn't exist?
Yeah,
That's
it doesn't
what we're
exist. It's
saying
just
right
white
now.
people being racist.
I'll tell you what it is. It's
white people being
sick of
racist.
Black people aren't, so you can't even listen because you just need to
Because
say
you're
crap.
claiming
Like,
that black fatigue is us being mad at a woman calling a 5-year-old the N-word.
no, that's not what black fatigue is. Black fatigue is people, not just white people. Black people are tired of it too, of black people using their color of their skin to claim racism no matter what the situation.
This
We're
wasn't
tired
racism.
of...
This was
we're
a situation of
tired of-
racism, though, right? Would you say a white
What's
person that
that?
calls a black person the N-word is a racist act?
I don't think it's nice, but I don't think it truly 100%.
You don't think a white
means
person
they're-
calling a black person the N-word with the hard R is a racist thing?
Do you think that you're able to sometimes say things that aren't nice, but not be like a horrible? Just because she used the
I
word
think
does
if
not
you
mean
say
that
racist things, you're a racist.
it doesn't mean that she's a racist or anyone's a racist. Sometimes emotions get heated, And it doesn't mean that you think that blacks are inferior to whites or anything like that. Sometimes you just get pissed off, overwhelmed, and she said it. And it's not good that she said it.
I'm gonna let you know. I'm gonna let you know something really crazy. I've never gotten so pissed and overwhelmed that I dropped the N-word with a hard R on somebody. It's never happened.
Well, I'm sure you say it. I'm sure you said it, or your friends say it when you're in a good mood. Like, the word's used all the time. It's in music. Like,
so that means it's okay that she did it.
What's that?
So it's okay that she did it.
I already started this whole thing by saying it wasn't okay. Did I not?
But you're justifying the use of it. You're quite literally justifying the use of it.
I'm not justifying the use of it. I'm telling you that
when you say black people should get over it, that is justifying it. Yes. That's like quite literally the textbook definition of justification.
I'm saying that you need to stop using everything as an excuse and play victim all the time.
There was a victim in this case, and it was the little black boy who got called the N-word by a grown adult. There is a victim. We're not playing victim.
Okay.
There's quite literally a victim in this.
Okay, yep, there's a victim. And then she's a victim of someone going through her purse, right?
Well, allegedly. There's no evidence that he did go through her purse. But there is evidence that she called him the N-word. Nope, there's video evidence of that.
It wasn't on video of her calling him that.
She literally admits to it on the video that she did that.
Yeah, but
so that is evidence. I don't know if you know this, but a public admission of doing something is evidence.
She never said I did.
Yes, she did.
That.
Yes, she did.
No, she didn't.
Yes, she did.
Okay.
Should we pull the video up? I'll pull the video up.
You can. Okay, and she says, "Well, if he's gonna act like that, then I'll take it." I know she did it. I'm just arguing about the whole word allegedly because whatever. But yeah, I think she did say it. I don't think it was right, as I said before. But you brought this situation up, trying to ask me if I thought that it was right that she was canceled or whatever. And
she wasn't canceled though. Well, because she wasn't canceled.
Why it happened.
No, the reason I brought this up, is because your claim is that the left is so focused on cancel culture, and my claim is cancel culture doesn't exist. The proof is in the pudding. This is a woman who called a 5-year-old child the N-word with the hard R, and got $700,000 because of it.
Yeah, and the reason she got that has nothing to do with cancel culture. Just because the canceling didn't work in your favor doesn't mean that cancel culture doesn't exist.
Yes, it does. In order for cancel culture to exist, people must be canceled.
Cancel culture didn't work. That means cancel culture doesn't exist at all.
Wait, if I go to bake a cake, but my oven never turns on, did I bake a cake? No, because my oven never turned on. So if the person never gets canceled, then cancel culture doesn't exist.
Okay, if a person doesn't get canceled in one situation, that means cancel culture.
Okay, give me another situation where people have gotten canceled.
Are you joking me?
Yeah, give me a situation. Give me a canceled situation. Who has been canceled?
All right, let's think back. Okay, Benjamin Owen canceled. Let me keep going. I got to think back. Cancel culture's ended a couple years ago as far as how well it was working.
Who the fuck is Benjamin Owen?
Exactly. You don't know. He was an actor out in L.A., got canceled, standing up against pedophiles who usually are transsexuals. And he got canceled. Started on Twitter. People on Twitter back through like 2015, 16 era getting canceled all the time.
Do you mean Owen Benjamin?
Oh, sorry, Owen Benjamin.
The literal white supremacist Owen Benjamin?
See what I'm saying?
Get the fuck out of here, bro. Owen Benjamin has endorsed Nazis, you fucking freak. Whoa, bro. Owen Benjamin, the Holocaust denier? Holy shit. Holy shit. What? Whoa, bro. What the fuck? Oh
fucking head hurts, dude. What the fucking fuck. Holy shit. Okay, listen. No, I'm done. I'm calling it after that one, dude. Holy shit, chat. This motherfucker. The Holocaust denier. Whoa, dude. Just so you know, I'm just gonna quote here something Owen Benjamin legitimately has said. Are you ready for this? And I quote, Adolf Hitler was trying to clean Germany, clean it of the parasites, of the fleas, end quote. Fuck you, dude. Austin, you piece of shit. Wow, dude. How dare we not allow someone who denies the Holocaust to chill? Like, what? The woke mind virus taking out the Nazis. Wow. Well, that's our stream today. Join me tomorrow when I'll be hanging out with Arden. We're gonna start the stream tomorrow by reading some of your comments on the videos I posted of me and Arden. So join us tomorrow for that. Thank you for watching the stream. This will be up for members on YouTube and subs on Twitch to rewatch if they'd like to. It was a fun stream today. You guys have a beautiful rest of your day. Yeah, burn in hell, Austin. I agree. Face the fucking wall, honestly. Bye, YouTube.